Welcome back. Today, we are shifting gears a little bit.
We are.
Usually we're looking at external systems, markets, history, productivity stuff.
Right.
But today, we are turning that lens completely inward. We're looking at a piece of tech that every single person listening owns and probably mistrusts.
I mean, it's got to be the most controversial tool in the human kit, right?
It really is. We are talking about intuition. And before you think we're about to go, full mystic.
Which is a fair concern.
It is. I want to ground this. We are revisiting Florence Scovel Shinn's The Game of Life and How to Play It, specifically her chapter on guidance.
But we're not just reading the book. We're sort of cross-referencing her spiritual take from 1925 with modern behavioral psychology.
Yeah, that work on fast thinking and pattern recognition.
Which is essential. Because for a long time, intuition was just, relegated to the realm of fortune tellers. You either had the sight or you didn't. But what Shinn argues, and what science is kind of starting to back up, is that intuition isn't magic. It's a mechanism.
A form of high-speed intelligence. She calls it a superconscious faculty.
Yeah, she suggests it sees the destination before you've even packed your bags.
That's the core idea here, isn't it? That your conscious mind, the one making pro-con lists, is working with really limited data.
It only knows what you've already seen.
Exactly. But intuition has access to a much broader data set. So our mission today is to figure out how to access that reliably. If this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one.
Because we want to move past treating guidance as just this, random stroke of luck.
Yes. We want to give you a framework or way to tell the difference between a real intuitive lead and, frankly, a spike of anxiety.
Which is a huge problem for most of us.
A massive one.
Yeah.
And we want to offer a method to make decisions without that paralysis of analysis.
That distinction you mentioned, anxiety versus intuition, that's the whole ballgame. If you can't tell the difference, you're just flying blind.
Okay, let's get into the machinery of it. Section 1. What actually is intuition? Shinn starts with the word itself.
She does. She goes right to the etymology, which I love. She points out that intuition comes from Latin, but she breaks it down even further.
To intuition?
Being taught from within, the idea of an internal teacher.
She uses the phrase unerring guide. That's a very high bar. Unerring means it never misses.
It's a bold claim, for sure.
Yeah.
But you have to see what she's contrasting it against.
The reasoning mind, the intellect.
Exactly. In her model, the reasoning mind is stuck in the three-dimensional world. It's a lagging indicator. It makes all its decisions based on the past.
So it's basically driving while only looking.
In the rearview mirror.
Precisely.
It only sees past failures, past stats, past hurts.
Whereas intuition is what she calls the divine design.
Yes, the part of you that sees the blueprint of what could be, not just what has been. It sees the traffic jam 5 miles ahead that your map doesn't show yet.
And the mechanism for this, she says, is the hunch, which I have to say feels like such a small word for such a big idea.
It sounds so casual, doesn't it? Oh, I have a hunch. But Shinn treats it with absolute seriousness. A hunch is that impulse to act that just defies your immediate logic.
Like the sudden urge to take a different route home from work.
Or to call a friend you haven't spoken to in, 5 years?
There's a story in the book about this, The Woman in New York, that I think really highlights how extreme this hunch logic can be.
Oh, this is the classic case study. So you've got this woman in New York City. She's broke. She's confused.
Her logic, her reasoning mind is screaming at her.
It's yelling, stay in New York. This is where the jobs are. You have no money. You can't afford to go anywhere.
Which, to be fair, is pretty sound logic. If you're broke, leaving the biggest economic hub seems like a terrible idea.
On paper, it's reckless. But she has this quiet, persistent feeling, just a nudge.
The hunch.
Yeah, it just says, go home. And she tells Shinn, I seem to have a hunch to go home, but I only have just enough money for the car fare.
Just enough for car fare. So she lands with literally zero.
Zero. Empty pockets. And this is where the conflict happens, right? The reasoning mind says, that's irresponsible. But the intuition says, go.
And Shinn's advice is one of the most famous lines from the book.
Then go home. Never violate a hunch.
Never violate a hunch. I mean, that is incredibly dangerous advice if you don't know what you're doing.
It is. But you have to look at what happened next. She trusts it. She spends her last dollar on that ticket.
And when she gets home?
She doesn't find a job right away. She reconnects with an old family friend. And through that specific unforeseen connection, a whole business path opens up.
A path that did not exist for her in New York.
So the logic was actually the trap. It was a closed loop. She was trying to solve the problem with the same thinking that created it. The hunch was the exit ramp.
This bridges so perfectly into modern psychology. What Shinn is calling the superconscious, someone like Daniel Kahneman would call.
System 1 thinking. It's a fascinating parallel. Kahneman, the Nobel laureate, he basically says the brain has two operating systems.
System 2 is the slow one.
Yeah, slow, logical, it does the math, weighs the pros and cons, it's very energy expensive.
And System 1 is the fast one, the instinctual brain.
It's the part of you that slams on the brakes before you even consciously realize the car in front stopped short.
Right.
It processes insane amounts of data in milliseconds. It spots patterns that System 2 is just way too slow to catch.
So when Shinn says trust the hunch, a behavioral scientist might say trust your internal pattern recognition software.
Exactly. It's not magic. It's just incredibly advanced data processing happening below the level of your conscious awareness.
So the divine design could just be our brain calculating probabilities based on thousands of micro cues we're not even seeing.
Precisely. And the reasoning mind, our System 2, is so often driven by fear and risk aversion, it just talks us out of these brilliant moves because they look risky on the surface.
But this brings us right to the elephant in the room. This is Section 2.
The problem of noise.
I can hear people yelling at their phones right now. That's great, but how do I know if it's my intuition or just me panicking?
This is the #1 objection. Is it my intuition or is it just my trauma response?
Because anxiety is a shapeshifter. It's a brilliant mimic.
It really tries to be.
Yeah.
Both of them feel like an internal message, a directive. But their signatures are completely different. And if you mistake one for the other...
You can run your life right into a wall.
Absolutely. So we need a filter.
Let's build one, the anxiety signature.
Yeah.
How do we spot the fake?
The first tell is volume and urgency. Anxiety is loud, it screams, it feels frantic.
It's an emergency.
Always a false emergency.
Yeah.
The message is usually an ultimatum. You must do this right now or everything will fall apart. It collapses your time horizon.
Send the text now. Check your email again.
Yes, apologize immediately. It's like a high-pressure sales tactic happening inside your own head.
And the content of the message.
It's catastrophic. Anxiety is a master artist of the worst-case scenario. It's all what-if thinking.
What if I get fired? What if they're mad at me?
What if I end up alone? It's a doom loop. And physically, we all know what that feels like.
It's the fight-or-flight response. The cortisol dump.
Racing heart, shallow breathing, tight chest. It's a feeling of contraction. You feel physically smaller, tighter.
Okay, so that's anxiety. Loud, urgent, catastrophic, and tight. Now let's contrast that with the intuition signature.
It's almost the exact opposite. First, volume. Shinn calls it the still small voice.
It whispers.
It doesn't scream. It's a frequency you actually have to quiet down to hear.
Which is so frustrating because when you're in a crisis, you want to shout.
You want a foghorn, but the truth doesn't need to shout. It just is. Second, intuition is specific.
Right. Anxiety gives you a whole lecture on your failures.
And intuition gives you a geographic coordinate. Call this person. Go to this street. Read this book. It's a simple, direct command.
It's not a monologue, it's a command prompt.
That's a great way of putting it. And third, it's often emotionally neutral. This really surprises people.
It's not exciting or scary.
Often, no. It just feels like a flat fact. It has this quality of calm detachment.
And the physical feeling.
Instead of that contraction, you feel a drop. It feels like landing, like a gear clicking smoothly into place.
I like that, landing.
Even if the instruction itself is hard, like end the relationship, the feeling underneath it is solid. It feels like the floor, not like you're in a free fall. If you're vibrating with adrenaline, it's not intuition.
So if this calm, specific signal is always broadcasting, why do we miss it so often? What's blocking it?
That takes us to Section 3, the guidance blockers. Shinn is very clear about the kinds of static that jam the receiver.
And the biggest one is fear.
Fear is the master jammer. She has this incredible definition for it. She calls fear inverted faith.
Inverted faith. So you have faith, but it's just pointed in the wrong direction.
Exactly. Fear is faith in a negative outcome. It's a strong belief that things will go wrong. When you're in that state, you're tuning your radio to the danger frequency.
So you physically cannot hear the solution frequency.
You can't. Your bandwidth is totally consumed by the noise. It's like trying to listen to a beautiful piece of music while a fire alarm is blaring right next to your ear.
Okay, what about the second blocker? Control.
Or forcing.
Hmm.
This is the trap for all the high achievers out there. We try to force a specific outcome.
I need this specific job. This person has to like me.
Right. Shinn says this creates tension. And intuition can't work through tension because tension is rigidity. Intuition needs fluidity.
You're gripping the steering wheel so hard you can't feel the subtle pull of the road.
That's it, exactly. You're overriding the guidance system with your own will.
Then there's desperation.
Shinn uses the busy wire analogy for this one. When you're frantic, begging the universe, crying, shouting, "Why isn't this working?"
You have a busy wire. The answer is trying to call you, but you won't hang up the phone.
You're broadcasting so loudly you can't receive anything. You have to clear the line.
And the last blocker is resentment.
This one is subtle. She says, a house divided can't stand. If you're holding on to deep anger or judgment towards someone, it just clouds your whole mental atmosphere.
It's like static.
Exactly. You end up interpreting everything through that lens of anger. You might think your intuition is telling you to attack someone, but it's really just your resentment dressing up as guidance.
Okay, so we've defined the signal, spotted the mimic, and listed the blockers. Now, how do we actually do this? Section 4, the method.
Shinn lays out a pretty clear protocol, and it's one you can easily layer over any modern decision-making framework.
Step 1, and it's the hardest one, calm down.
It's completely non-negotiable. Like we said, you cannot hear a whisper while you are screaming. You have to physiologically regulate your body.
So it's a physical act. Take a breath, go for a walk, step away from the screen.
You have to step away from the problem to get the perspective to solve it.
Step 2, clean the motive.
This is the ego check. You have to be genuinely open to the right outcome, not just the one you want. You have to be willing to be wrong.
So you can't just be listening for, yes, buy the expensive car.
You just filter out the quiet, no, the transmission is about to fail. You have to value the truth more than your desire.
Step 3 is the ask.
The spoken word. Shinn was very big on this. She suggests a specific affirmation.
I have it here. Infinite Spirit, reveal to me the way. Let me know if there's anything for me to do.
I love that second part. Let me know if there's anything for me to do. It opens up the possibility that the answer is do nothing.
Which is terrifying for a doer.
It is, but sometimes the most powerful move is to just hold your position and wait.
Which is step 4, the lead, active waiting.
Her rule is do not act until you get a definite lead. This requires discipline.
And we'll dig into what active waiting really means later, but for now, it's just not flailing around.
You wait for the signal, and when it comes.
That's step 5, the small aligned step.
When the hunch arrives, you act immediately, even if it seems tiny or illogical. The lead is rarely a lightning bolt from the sky. It's a breadcrumb.
Call your aunt. Clean your desk.
5. You follow the breadcrumb, and that leads you to the loaf.
Let's make this real. Section 5, practical examples. Let's start with work and career.
Okay, classic scenario. You're a freelancer, end of the month is coming, revenue is down.
Panic.
The logic, system 2, goes into overdrive. Scarcity mindset kicks in. The reaction is to panic work. You spam emails, you lower your prices.
The whole hustle culture response. You stay up until 3 in the morning just pushing.
Right, but you're vibrating with fear, so you just attract more problems. The Shinn approach is the shift.
Yeah.
You stop. You calm down. You ask for the divine design of your career.
You clean your motive. I want to serve, not just grab money.
And you wait for the hunch. And the hunch might be something totally random, like go to that free networking event downtown.
Logic says, that's a waste of time. I should be sending more emails.
But you go. And at the event, you have a casual conversation with someone who needs exactly what you do. That one hunch just bypassed 100 cold calls. It's about efficiency.
Okay, example 2, relationships.
This comes up all the time in conflict. You're fighting with a partner, a friend, a family member. The reactive approach is what she calls condemnation.
You just judge them. You replay the argument over and over. You text your friends about how wrong they are.
You're just feeding the negativity. The shift here is to stop the judgment loop. You bless the situation, which just means you stop cursing it. You withdraw your negative energy.
And the result?
Clarity. Once that fog of anger lifts, intuition can finally step in. It might say you need to set a firm boundary, and you can do it calmly. Or it might say, let this go, it's not important. The key is the decision comes from a place of strength, not reaction.
Last one, example 3, habits.
This is huge. Most of us try to break bad habits with pure willpower. I will not smoke. I will not eat the sugar.
Just white-knuckling it.
But willpower is a finite resource. It's a battery that runs out. The guidance approach is to ask for the next right step. Instead of staring at the giant mountain of, I have to be different for the rest of my life.
You just shrink the horizon.
You ask, what's the right move for just the next hour? Intuition lives in the present moment. So if you stumble, you don't spiral into shame, because shame is just more noise. You just reset and ask, okay, what is the right move for me now?
I want to invite everyone listening to actually do this with us. Section 6, a guided exercise. We're calling it the guidance reset.
This is a real-time practice, so if you're not driving, just take a moment with us.
Okay. Step 1, quiet the noise. Just take a short pause. Take one deep breath. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw.
Just physically signal to your body that you are safe in this moment.
Step 2, name the decision. Clearly and simply state the one thing you need clarity on right now.
Keep it small. Should I take that meeting? What's my first step with this project?
Step 3, ask. You can say it out loud or just in your mind. Infinite Spirit, reveal the way.
I really mean it. Surrender the need to control the answer.
Step 4, write down or just mentally catch the very first calm idea that comes up.
Don't judge it. It might seem totally unrelated. It might be drink a glass of water. Just notice it.
Step 5, test it. Commit to taking that one small, simple action.
Because action is what breaks the paralysis of fear.
Step 6, watch for the fear noise. If that loud, frantic voice comes back screaming, just pause again. Don't act from the scream.
Return to the quiet signal.
And finally, step 7, remove one contradiction. Identify one thing you are doing that proves you don't really trust that guidance is coming.
Are you doom-scrolling about the problem?
Mm.
Are you asking 10 different friends for their opinion because you don't trust your own? Just for today, stop doing that one thing.
Shinn calls that digging up the seeds.
Exactly. You can't plant a seed of intention and then dig it up every 5 minutes to see if it's growing. You have to let it be.
That leads us right into section 7, common mistakes. Because we all mess this up.
Constantly.
Mistake number 1, asking but not listening.
We place our order with the universe, and then we immediately walk out of the restaurant, we ask for guidance, and then we ignore the chance remark from a stranger or the book that falls off the shelf. That was the delivery.
Mistake 2, reasoning the hunch away.
This is the intellectual's trap. You get the hunch, and System 2 immediately jumps in and says, that's illogical, or that's inefficient. The fix is to just remind yourself that logic is limited to the past. Intuition is what sees around the corner.
Mistake 3, confusing adrenaline with instinct.
We've covered this, but it's a big one. The fix is the peace test. If it's not peaceful, if you feel frantic, it's not your intuition, period. Wait until you're steady.
Mistake 4, digging up the seeds.
Impatience. We want the answer on our timeline. The fix is to trust the timing. Nature doesn't hurry, yet everything is accomplished.
And mistake number 5, thinking the lead has to be this huge dramatic thing.
We're all waiting for the burning bush or the sky to part.
And instead, the guidance is take out the trash.
Right. The fix is to understand that intuition is often incredibly mundane and practical. You have to do the small, boring thing to open the path for the big, exciting thing. The biggest doors swing on the smallest hinges.
I love that. The big doors swing on small hinges.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring this all home. Section 8, the recap. If you take nothing else away, let it be these key ideas.
First, intuition is a skill, not some magic trick. It's intelligence that comes from within.
Next, anxiety screams while intuition whispers. Learn to tell the difference in their volume and their tone.
Fear is the primary blocker. Remember, it's just inverted faith. It jams the signal.
You have to prepare the ground. You must calm down before you ask for guidance.
The method is simple. Ask, wait for a definite lead, and then act on that hunch without delay.
And that's a big one. Never violate a hunch. It's your shortcut to the right path.
And finally, trust that the divine design for your life is probably better and bigger than what your limited reasoning mind can plan for you.
That is the whole toolkit. And speaking of divine design, that sets us up perfectly for our next session.
It really does. Next time, we're tackling perfect self-expression.
This is the big one. We're going to talk about finding the work you are actually built to do and how to stop being a square peg in a round hole.
This is going to be a really good conversation.
Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist. And please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.
Trust the hunch.
Okay, wait. Before we fully sign off, I just want to circle back to something because I think it is the hardest part of this whole philosophy.
Let's do it. What's on your mind?
The concept of active waiting.
Yes. It's a tricky one. It deserves a little more attention.
Because waiting just sounds so passive. It sounds like laziness. It sounds like you're just sitting on the couch hoping good things will happen to you.
That's the common misunderstanding. But think of a cat watching a mouse hole. Is the cat running around frantically? No. Is it making a lot of noise? No. It's perfectly still.
But is it passive? No way. Every muscle is loaded. It is 100% alert, ready to pounce.
That is active waiting. It's a state of high alertness combined with zero tension. You're going about your day, you're doing the dishes, you're driving to work, but your inner receiver is on. You're ready to pivot the moment that signal comes through.
Most of us, when we're waiting, are in a state of despair. We're slumped over, checking our phones, thinking, it's never going to happen.
And that's passive waiting. That's waiting in lack. Active waiting is waiting in expectancy. It's the difference between waiting for a bus you're pretty sure isn't coming.
Versus waiting for a friend who just texted you, I'm 2 minutes away.
Exactly. When you know your friend is almost there, you're not despairing. You're putting your shoes on, you've got your keys in your hand, you're ready. That's the state of mind Shinn wants us to live in.
And that ties back to cleaning your motive, doesn't it? If I'm just waiting for one very specific outcome, like I'm waiting for this specific person to call me,
Then you're not in active waiting. You're in demanding. You're trying to dictate the terms. Shinn says you have to let go of the outline. You can desire the essence, love, abundance, creativity, but you can't demand the specific channel it comes through.
because maybe that person isn't the right channel.
Maybe the right channel is the person you're about to meet at the coffee shop in 5 minutes if you just get the hunch to go. But if you're staring at your phone, willing it to ring, you miss the hunch entirely.
You're so tunnel visioned on the dirt where you planted the seed, yelling, grow, row, that you don't see the huge flower that's already blooming right behind you.
That's the perfect image for it.
I just want to revisit that story of the woman one last time. The detail that she had just enough for car fare.
No.
That
Yeah.
means she arrived with absolutely no safety net. None. That is terrifying to the logical mind.
It is. System 2, the reasoning mind, says you need 6 months of savings, a plan B, a whole portfolio of backup plans. And look, that's generally good advice.
Right. Disclaimer, we are not financial advisors.
Of course. But Shinn is talking about those specific moments in life where the logic has run out, where you're at a dead end. In those moments, you cannot use logic to get out of a logic trap. You need a different kind of exit.
A vertical escape route. Logic is horizontal. A leads to B leads to C. Intuition is vertical. It just trucks in from above.
And sometimes, to grab that vertical line, you have to let go of the horizontal safety rail you've been clinging to. She had to let go of the safety of being miserable in New York to grab the line of the hunch.
It's like a trapeze artist. You absolutely cannot catch the next bar until you let go of the one you're holding.
And for that one split second, you are just floating in midair with nothing. That's the moment of faith. That's where the anxiety screams, you're going to fall.
And that is where you have to use that guidance reset. Pause. Breathe. Is this feeling just the fear of the transition, or is it a genuine warning?
Precisely. And that brings up another huge distinction. Running toward a hunch versus running away from fear.
Oh, that's a big one.
If that woman had left New York because she was panicking and just running away from her problems, it would have been a totally different story.
She would have just taken the problems with her.
Shinn says, what you run from runs after you. She would have found the same lack and limitation at home, but she wasn't running from, she was running toward. It was a positive pull, a definite lead.
So if I quit a job I hate because I'm just angry and desperate to escape, I'm running away.
And you will likely end up in another job you hate within a year.
But if I quit because I have that quiet, steady landing feeling that says, your work here is done,
then you are following the divine design. And even if you don't have the next thing lined up, the bridge appears as your foot is coming down.
the bridge appears as you step. That's the part that requires so much trust. We all want to see the whole bridge first.
We want guarantees. Shinn says you trade the guarantee for the guide.
That's why this book has lasted 100 years. We're all still scared. We're all still trying to control everything.
And we are drowning in more noise now than ever before. She didn't have to deal with smartphones and 24-hour news cycles.
So for the doers out there, the high performers, ask and wait feels like losing control, losing agency.
But the argument is that you're upgrading your agency. When you force things, you're using your own little battery. And that battery runs out. We all see the burnout. When you learn to operate from intuition, you're plugging into the main grid. You're still acting. You're still doing.
But the source of the energy is different.
It's flow, not force.
And that's what leads to what she called that place that you are to fill and no one else can fill.
That's the goal. The compass to find that place is the quiet signal.
So, final tool for the week,
Hmm.
the peace test.
Simple. Before you make the decision, Just close your eyes for 5 seconds. Imagine you've already taken the action. Imagine you said the email, you said the thing, and then just watch your body.
Does your stomach unclench? Do your shoulders drop?
Do you take your first deep breath of the day? That's a gadding. Yeah, if you feel that knot in your stomach, if your breath catches, that's a no. Or at the very least, a not yet.
Not yet is a valid answer.
One of the most important answers, intuition is a master of timing.
It all comes down to trust.
It's 100% about trust. And you have to practice on the small things. Ask for guidance on what to have for lunch. Ask for the best route to the grocery store. Tune the radio when the stakes are low.
So when the stakes are high, you already know the frequency.
Exactly. You learn to tune past the static of the fear channel. You can hear it, but you know not to listen to it.
This has been incredibly grounding.
The tools are on the table now.
Time to go test our hunches.